Hello, I'm Celeste from Hexen Arcane, and this is a very long movie, so I'm really here to do an intro and an ending. And if you couldn't tell by the way I dressed, we are showing a spaghetti western today because who doesn't like a good western? And there are horror elements, as in a lot of things we show that aren't strictly horror, there are definitely horror elements in this. So tonight we are showing Death Rides a Horse. And this is kind of a classic revenge story, but it's supposedly a good one. So I'm going to find out along with you if it is worthy of the 7 out of 10 it got in IMDb, which is honestly one of the highest rated movies we've ever shown. And, since I like to do this, we're going to talk about some of the goofs, like continuity goofs, like things to look out for. So when you first see this character, Bill, he's practicing shooting. The first revolver he shoots is a 6-shot Colt Peacemaker, which then later turns out to be a 9-shooter, and the second is an 11-shooter. So it's a little bit off on the continuity, which honestly, a lot of movies would show revolvers. If you count the shots, it's way more than the revolver would have. So that's something I've noticed in a lot of movies and shows. There is one shot of like an outdoor conversation between two characters, Ryan and Bill, and Ryan casts a shadow on the background mountain range, revealing that the shot was a soundstage in front of a painted backdrop. So those things are kind of fun to look for. There's some plot holes, of course. There's some factual errors, of course. I won't go into those because, as with most movies, we'd be here all night. But I'm excited to show this Western, and I hope you guys really enjoy it. I will be popping in to say goodnight at the end. Thank you so much for joining us for Death Rides a Horse. This was actually a really fun one. It was dark at first, but I really liked the way it played out, and it was well done. It was amusing, it was entertaining. So what else could you want from a spaghetti western? I do want to take a few minutes to talk about a little bit of trivia. So the original title of the film was Duel in the Wind, and Lee Van Cleef came up with the Italian title while discussing the movie with John Philip Law, who saw the film as a man-to-man story. So Van Cleef remarked, "Why don't they call it From Man to Man?" And the Italian producers liked how it sounded in Italian, which I'm not even going to try to pronounce because I will butcher it. And so they used that for the Italian version, and then the film was subsequently released and retitled on Death Rides a Horse in English-speaking markets, which John Philip Law said he never liked that title. But I like it. I think it's a very compelling title. It draws you in. And how weird is it that Italian filmmakers are making a Western? I always thought that was odd, but it was well done, so what can you say? And the film has an original score, but the opening sequence reuses music from A Fistful of Dollars. There is some of the European editions of the movie, like recent Blu-ray releases, chose to revert to the Italian original title, Von Mann zu Mann in German, where Die Rechnung wird mit Blei bezahlt was a primary title, which translates sort of to The Bill Will Be Paid in Lead. And there is a Bollywood hit called Zanjeer from 1973, which was inspired by this movie. So it had a larger impact on the filmmaking world. So thank you for joining me for this fun, long, but fun spaghetti western. And, of course, as always, we will hex you soon.